Alrighty. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully, you had a good weekend. No, y'all saw me last Friday. Don't get used to it. No, I typically don't have Fridays off. I do have Mondays off, though. So, I'm be doing the custom car garage today. One of the items that's been in my backlog for a little while. Um, Bonus, though, if you go to my Discord into the announcements channel, I created a poll to see what the next big set we're going to do is. So, helps if I actually click in the little chat area. So there's my Discord if you would like to join it. You have a shelf to turn into a garage once this is completed. Maybe. Maybe. Not a very big garage. But maybe. We are running out of space. And that's saying something because this room has a lot of shelving. I have one shelf that's just Speed Champions, and it's almost every single Gen 1 and all the Gen 2s except for all the F1s, and a couple others. For those that haven't seen my shelving, get ready for a little ride. If you get motion sick, close your eyes for a little bit. All right. There's my roller coaster up there on top. There's all the Speed Champions on display in the second shelf. The International Space Station, a Christmas Choo Choo. There's a Saturn V rocket. That's mostly the wife stuff right there on that shelf and the next shelf. Some medieval, maybe some Harry Potters. Um, a police mobile command unit. It's kind of a bright light over here because that's my work light. But there's the endurance. We did the 24-hour stream on. There's some trains there. There's the F1 car that we just built the other day. The Main Street station for Disney. There's the Artemis. And there's the Old West train and train station that we did a couple weeks ago. That's all my shelving. If you want to look at the wife's shelving, there's book. That's all her stuff over there. That's a haunted house. The elevator actually works. You can actually motorize it too, so it works automatically. All this behind me is all hers. So I need clear shelf risers for the cars. Yes, I do. Uh, at least two, maybe three. More shelving is needed. We bought some more shelving this weekend. We just got to put it together. It's going to go over yonder behind book, by the back door. So I want to do there's a mock build out there. I think Devin showed it to me, where it's like a starting lineup grid for the Formula One cars that you can then flip them onto the little board and then you can hang it on the wall. So that would be kind of cool to do. Uh, yeah. I still have a few big sets to build. I also have the Formula One truck, the transport truck and trailer. There's our booklet. Did everybody have a good weekend? There's bag 5. Another booklet. Bag 2. Bag 3. Bag 1. There's bag 1. Bag 4. We got 5 bags. So we went and took our kids to, they called it Zoo Boo, but basically Boo at the Zoo. We're trick or treating at the zoo. We did that out in Memphis. Oh, my fan died. Okay. Hey, we got stickers. Have any more stickers? You'll be here in the background. Got a few things to get done, and be an adult. Blah. Being an adult. Nasty. Nobody likes being an adult. But anyway, so I posted the link to my Discord. If need be, I can do it again. Make sure you go there, go to the announcements section, and cast your vote for the next big set we do. There's 5 in there. There is another set that I have, but I didn't put it in there because I want to do it for a special thing. Ain't got enough coin for skin. But it's the Steam Riverboat. I'm thinking about doing that like over Christmas, or I would say a birthday stream, but we'll probably be out of town for my birthday anyway, so. I don't want to do it as like another 24-hour endurance stream like we did with the endurance, because I just two boats for 2 24-hour streams. That just doesn't seem original. All right, so we have a Firo in the chat for those playing the Pokemon games. The effective balls are basic balls, mock balls, and fast balls. Just not balls. That has a basic ball. Sweet. So this book takes care of bags 1 and 2, which looks like it's going to cover part of the garage that we're building, and it's going to be the black and teal car. Finish with the other one. I'm drinking my baby. Goodbye. He thinks that I'm home just open around the house. Does he have a helmet? He has a helmet, so we're not going to put the hair on. I never put the hair on if they have a helmet. Timer ball reminder. I called it. Yeah, I always put the racing helmet on because I'm gonna throw him in the race car. There's his legs. I found him. There we go. We'll sit him right here so he can watch me build his car. I'm gonna knock him over. There we go. All right. We have our little person made. All right. Step 1. Ta-da! We're done with step one. Not even a step. Cruising my troubles away. Nope, not that one. So, Rosie, what's Tierney doing today? On our first ad break, I'm going to step aside and go grab me a new battery for my fan. Hey, Trail. Sorry, puppy's in the way. Hopefully, you're having a good day there, Trail. I imagine you're at work, though. Too busy at work, so no headphones today. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well, Trail. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out. We got to play some games again sometime. You're too busy. Listen up, soldier. Trail's been MIA, but they're returning from the front lines. Returning to the front lines soon. Ain't got no intel on their last mission or what gear they'll be packing, but mark my words, this ain't no R&R. It's time to get back in the fight. Just like the war, you got to adapt and overcome. Stay sharp, recruit. Puppy's making it hard to type. Yeah, I went to go get lunch earlier, and I was like, man, something smells like pee. I was like, well, maybe the cat just used the restroom, and that's why. Uh, it hasn't fully absorbed into the litter box. Whatever, what have you. And so we went and got lunch and came back. And as I was walking back out to put my lunch stuff away, I was like, man, it still smells like pee. So I went to the restroom, and where her litter box is, I saw some poop, and I was like, man. So I went to go clean it up, and that's when I noticed that there was also pee. I was like, man, she peed on the floor and pooped on the floor. I wonder if it smells like pee. And that was like right before my stream was supposed to start, like 10 minutes before. So I was cleaning that up and then got a little behind on doing setup. That's all good now. I think it might have been there wasn't enough litter in the litter box for her to cover up. So he went outside the litter box. Remember when? Still working on getting my Eco server up and running. Nitrado hasn't figured out what's going on their end. And of course, I don't have access to the back end because why would they want to give me access to their servers? I'm only renting it, I don't own it. Which that's just giving me motivation to start purchasing computer components to build my own server. But that's going to be a hot minute. That ain't cheap. I mean, fortunately, being a server, it doesn't need like a high-powered graphics card because most of your server stuff is going to be console, so it's not actually going to need to display any kind of graphics. Plus, 90% of the time, the monitor for it's going to be turned off anyway, unless I need to do work on it. So it doesn't need a super duper graphics card. But you need a lot of RAM. You need a really good CPU. Means you need a good motherboard. So, well, I don't have to spend, $500 on a graphics card. Still got to spend a good chunk of change on the CPU and motherboard. But eventually, I shall have it. Which then I can run all the games that I want at the same time on that server. If I can get the build that I want, I can have a Conan and an Ark, Eco, Farm Sim, Project Zomboid, whatever. And whatever anybody feels like playing at the time, they can just log on at any point in time and play. None of this me switching the games out through Nitrado to host the next game for the server. Just whatever game they feel like playing at the time, boop. And there you go. Dadgummit. Stop it. I know you're running from a tidal wave. Hurricane, the eyes of the storm. But hopefully, soon enough, I will have my Eco server up and running. Maybe I can convince the wife to play Eco. I don't want to say it's like Satisfactory, but in some ways it is. You're not automating a bunch of stuff. Because really you don't have to automate anything in the game. But let's say you're the smelter and you want to make 900 iron ingots, copper ingots, or whatever. You just walk up to the little smelter there, put in, I want to make 900 ingots, and then as long as you have the calories available to put in the work, then it'll just sit there and do the 900 ingots while you go off and do something else. and all the animals are passive, so they don't attack you. Now, granted, if you want food, you have to attack them and kill them, but or you go fishing or grow crops. So maybe I can convince her to do that. Or Valheim is $10 right now. Maybe she'll try out Valheim. But she's not very good with the fighting games. Then the most difficult battle though in Valheim is when you're dealing with the sea creature. The only way to get to the sea creature is to go into a boat. Go out in the middle of the ocean. So you have nowhere to go because you're on a boat. Middle of the ocean. That's interesting. It does not. Huh. So this literally only clips here and here. And it rests on this piece here. That's different. It just rests on it. That's different. Of the eye of the storm. Okay, so we're putting this blower in the back here. Now it just looks like lost or something. I do like though on the instructions here. So they show it in there and then this, but then over here they're like, okay, remember you have to put the engine in first before you put the trunk lid on. Jumped at my ring notification. I had a ring notification. I'd never heard it. It tinkled. Hit stop. Got a Discord notification. Ooh. That's your Transylvania? Oh, and there's a Pokemon, Slowking. Effective balls are net balls and cipher balls. I don't think I have any net balls, so let's try cipher ball. Guess I have a cipher ball. Timer ball reminder, get your timer balls out there. I called it. Hey Mac, how you doing? I hope you had a good weekend. Wow, twice. Oh, let's see. We will report. I've been getting bots for a long time now. How do I feel about mini Legos? You mean Legos like this? Or are you talking about the little bitty, itty bitty flat pieces?
No, she means those Play-Doh.
The tiny Legos? I mean, other than the fact that I have great big gorilla fat fingers, um, I guess they're all right. So I love watching Book when she's doing the Legos, and she goes, "Now, if you don't have tiny hands like me, you're gonna have problems with this." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." I think Carrot's done it a couple times too. And then we go to do something like, "Can't get my fat finger in there."
But don't.
She goes, "If you have adult fingers, it's going to be hard." You were looking at some sets, but they are so tiny. Yeah, that's the problem with them. They're really tiny. That's cool. It just fits right in there. So it fits right here in this little. There we go. That little groove right there. It just fits right in there. That's kind of cool. I am not smart enough to do my own mocks because I have been doing some Lego builds and go, oh, that's interesting that they did it like that. I wonder why. And then like 3 or 4 steps later, I'm like, that's why. Okay, cool. I never would have done it that way. I'd have just been, or how sometimes you'll build like this intricate piece and you're missing pieces here and there. And you're like, why am I missing pieces here and there? And then you build another one and then they just snap together just so perfectly. I'm like, see, I would have just built it all out. I wouldn't have built 2 separate pieces and then snapped them together. But that's why I'm not a Lego master. And they are. Though my call sign at work has become Lego Masters. They weren't straight, sorry. I should do like oh, who was it? Was it Mr. Hurrah? Or was it somebody else where they take the little brick separator here and they just kind of run it across here to make sure they're nice and flat, even. Big old nerd. So my desk at my office has several of my Legos on it. So I'm assuming that's why they call me Lego Master. And it's not just, like 1 or 2 sets. No. I've got the Concorde is on my desk, along with my large minifigure for the race car driver. Then I have my 69 Camaro Z28, my Lamborghini Countach, the McLaren 1988 Formula One car that was the Icons that won like 15 of the 16 races that year. Then I also have a B-17 bomber, the Lego freight train, all of the Speed Champion Formula One cars that released this year, except for this one. Reason I haven't taken this one yet is because it's missing this piece right here. It says 911. I got that off of a different Lego to put here until the new piece comes from Lego, because I was missing one of the black gold ingots. So once I get that, I can take that one up there and put with the rest of them. The Williams team large icons Lego set that we built last week. It's over here, but I'm going to take that up there and put with the other Formula One car. I got all my food trucks up there. My Expecto Patronum Warthog. And a couple other odds and ends. I got the Speed Champions Lamborghini Countach to match the large Icons Countach. So I got a lot of Legos up at work. And I'm eventually going to take the Old West train and train station that we have down here. And I'm going to take that up there and I'm going to display it on top of the bookshelf. We've actually cleared that off so I can bring it up there. And we're looking at getting some shelves and stuff to put on the wall so I can bring more Legos in. All the Legos. For those just joining, don't forget to go to my Discord and go to the announcements section. Hang on a second. And vote for the next large set that we're going to do. Try that again. Oh. All right, there we go. Oh, this was that song you were trying to tell me about the other day on the way home. From Bad Flower or whatever. Yeah. Bad Flower is coming to our local concert hall. And the wife and the daughter were trying to tell me that, you know, trying to give me ideas of songs that I've heard from them. Because you tell me a band name, more than likely, I'm just like, who the heck is that? But you know, the songs I'm kind of decent on. Uh, when they mentioned Bad Flower, I was like, "Who's that?" And then they were trying to tell me about the song that called Ghost. Me down below. So, Mac, you were saying that you have. I don't forget what I was going to say. Train derailed just like that. All right, different line of questioning. Um, Does your coworkers call you big ol' nerd because of your Legos, or do you like specific types, like Star Wars or uh, the Harry Potters, and that's why? I guess what's your favorite Lego set theme? I don't really have a Lego theme that I like. I like planes, trains, and automobiles, so that Lego City, uh, Lego Icons, Speed Generation, Speed Champion. They have two generations. And then of course I've got the Milano from Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, it's a spaceship. It's not technically a plane, but it's a spaceship. It flies. I do wish Lego had better planes, like passenger planes. They got a couple of decent, like firefighter planes. Uh, one of them's a Technic, which I like the look of. My thumbs and fingers hurt from doing Technic, so I really don't want to do Technic. All right. Nowhere in the instructions that tell me to put those pieces on the car, but the final step shows them on the car with our driver in here. All right, for those playing the Pokemon games, we have a new Pokemon in chat. It is Galai. Galai. Effective balls are frozen balls and heavy balls. There we go. That car is done. If I have a frozen ball. Nope. What about a heavy ball? Yep, I have a heavy ball. Cool. But there we go. Hmm. Oh, it has me put them on like that, but I like it. I think it looks better this way. What do y'all think? Going backwards or going forwards? Hmm. Yeah. Only because it has that black portion on the front to match up with the fender here. So that black portion there matches with the black fender. Going the opposite direction, it looks kind of out of place. I do wish the dragon was facing the other direction, though. That's just my personal preference. All right, bag two. Somewhere around here. And I called it off the Pokemons. In you go. We got another character. It looks like it's gonna be a mechanic though. Shades on. My bad. Safety glasses. Head. Body. That is some pretty flat hair there in the back. Like no definition whatsoever. It's almost like got a mullet. Stick him there so he can watch me build his garage. We'll need to move our car out the way here. How do I apologize? There it is. How do I apologize? Masterpiece. How do I apologize? The tears back in your eyes. Went ahead and added that on there because that big piece is a lot easier to hold than the little piece, and hold this a lot simpler. I hold that little white piece. Go. And for my love in all the wrong places. My life I fucked up and I can't deny. Get it together. True to me, but I am my worst enemy. All right, so now this can go. Look, I did it backwards. All my life I up and I can't get down. Together, woo! Forever, 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 woo! All right, so we can either have this rear end here, or we can have the one that we currently have, which is what I'm going to go with for now. Told you a million times. Together, together, woo! Always begging for change. Now I got work. They just sit around and get paid. Who can't drive their cars. Man, I agree. Out of the way before I don't fall apart. I just tell them to move, get out the way. I had this one lady on the way home on Saturday. Was it Saturday? No, Sunday. Um, she's doing 65 in a 75 in the left lane, the passing lane. And she's kind of keeping pace with the 18 wheeler, so I didn't feel safe passing her on the right to try and get around her because I didn't think I had enough room between her and the 18 wheeler to complete the pass. So I flashed my lights at her. No response. So I flashed my lights at her again. No response. Well, then the 18 wheeler, I guess, saw me flashing my lights, so he decided to get over. So he got over in front of her, and I was like, well, now he's not in my way on the right side, so I just went around her on the right. I'm like, come on. Of course, as I was passing her, she was on her phone. What in the world? Why? Why do we have one headlight and what is this? We either have this front end, which I don't understand it, or we can have this front end. We're gonna go with this one because I got no idea what's going on that front end. Oh, my rich friends, I hate everyone to the bitter end. Alright, we got ads I'll be starting shortly. We run a 3-minute block of ads once per hour. Reason being, so that minimizes the amount of disruptions to the stream. It also gets rid of pre-rolls, so when people come in, they don't have to watch commercials to see the great Tuca. They just get to see me in all my glory right off the bat. During the 3-minute ads, I will not be building. So if you do not have a subscription to my channel or Turbo, do not have to worry about missing anything because I will not be building. I may be gathering pieces for the next step, but I won't actively build. And I just was an idiot and just assumed that that was what we were doing on this. It is not what we were doing. However, that being said, those with Turbo and those who are subbed don't have ads. But it is not necessary. During those 3 minutes, make sure you get up, stretch, get you a drink of water, maybe use the restroom, do some self-care because we've been sitting for an hour. I will be getting up and going to get a new battery for my fan. We have a Pokemon fixing to come in, so get your quick balls ready. It is a Pharaoh Seed. Effective balls are Sun Balls and Magnet Balls. So if you're playing a Pokemon game, those are the balls that will help you get the Pokemon. And we're in ads, so we will stop building. I want to get, if I can get me a Pokemon here. Oh, no Sunball. What about a Magnet Ball? Magnet Ball. Alright. I'm going to go grab me a drink and get a new battery. I'll be right back. Hey, we're back. All right. I caught the Pharaoh seed. We did this step here. Now we're doing step 8. Whee! There we go. That'd be awesome if we had an extra black gold ingot. Just go ahead and finish up our other speed champion. Cool. There we go. All right. Sadly, that is not the case. Hey, Steel. No, today isn't Friday. Why would today be Friday? Today's Monday. Yeah, about 2 months ago. My schedule, I have every Monday off now. What was it? I think it was June. We switched our schedule because somebody higher up didn't like the fact that basically nobody was in our office on Fridays. Uh, so he said that somebody has to be there every Friday. Well, we still want to do 410, so my coworker and I decided that we would have a 4-day weekend every other weekend. So we would have Friday and Monday off. And then the other person would have the next Friday and then Monday off. Uh, However, our boss didn't like that because he was having a hard time figuring out who was going to be in on what day. So he told us we had to choose who got Fridays off and who got Mondays off. So we Rochambeaued for it, and I ended up getting Mondays off because I lost, and my coworker got Fridays off. So we'll be on the schedule for, I guess, about a month and a half. But I do stream some Fridays as well because I work sometimes Monday through Thursday, even though I'm supposed to be off on Mondays. Like last week, I had the class that was Monday through Thursday, so I had Friday off. So I streamed last Friday since I didn't get to stream last Monday, and then I'm streaming today because this is my normal day off. See, the problem with having Mondays off is a lot of the holidays are on Mondays. So I'm not allowed to bank that holiday. I just have to move my day off to Tuesday. The problem is if you move your day off to Tuesday, then the system's like, oh, you missed work on Tuesday, unexcused, so therefore you don't get the holiday hours. So then we have to go in there and fight the system and be like, no, it was a scheduled day off, so I can get my hours. And it's just a pain in the neck. I'd rather have the Fridays off. That way, when the Monday rolls around, that's a holiday. I don't have to do all the juking and jiving to try and get my holiday pay. But like when it comes to Thanksgiving this year, my buddy who has Fridays off will have to juke and jive his because he's supposed to have Fridays off, which means we get Thursday and Friday off from we get Friday off from the governor, and we get Thursday off for the federal holiday. So since his is Fridays, he then has to move it to Thursday, but Thursday's also a holiday, so he's got to move it to Wednesday. But if he's off on Wednesday, then he doesn't get the holiday pay. So he's got to juke and jive and move his stuff around saying, hey, that's actually my scheduled day off, so he can then get his holiday pay. But he only has to do that for Thanksgiving and every once in a while Christmas if it falls on a Friday. I got to do that for Labor Day, Memorial Day, President's Day. It's just a lot more hassle, but it is what it is. But yes, for the most part, I'm supposed to have Mondays off. Don't ask me what's going to happen when we go into winter weather operations, because that's a whole nother can of worms. Because any winter weather days off that we get has to be used by the end of the fiscal year, which for our state is uh, the end of June. But they want you to have it done before June so everything can be reconciled during the month of June before they close out the end of June. Well, winter weather usually ends around the end of February, beginning of March. The problem with that is our flood season starts in March and goes through April. So we can't really take our time off it through March or April because that's when we have monsoon season. We got all the flooding and everything, and we're going to be working that. That means through the month of May, anybody who had any winter weather or inclement weather leave that they need to burn has to take it off in the month of May. So there's 4 of us in the office, and all 4 of us will probably have a week or 2 off. So there's going to be like 2 of us off each week in May. So have fun figuring that one out. Not my job. As I told my boss, if he wants me to stick around, he better not make it my job. I told him I'll quit if he makes me a supervisor. What's funny is I don't think he thought I was serious. But one time he asked me what I thought about becoming a supervisor. And I told him, you want my 2 weeks notice? Because that's how you get my 2 weeks notice. Are you affected by the freeze? What do you mean by the freeze? Oh, the government shutdown? No, I am not. Because I'm a state employee, not a federal employee. Plus, even if the state government decided to shut down, I am not paid by the state. My salary is funded through the fuel tax from the Highways Commission. So as long as people are buying fuel, then I have a salary. All right, we have a Kingler in chat for those playing the Pokemon game. Effective balls are the net balls. So if you have net balls, throw your net balls. Got any jobs here in Atlanta? I don't know. I ain't checked. There ain't no state jobs for my state in Atlanta. Besides, why would I want to move to Atlanta? Atlanta sucks. That's like New York. Ugh. Atlanta's not even south anymore. It's south. Oh, for a room. I mean, my state doesn't have any jobs in Atlanta for a room either. I mean, I can get him a job here in my state. What's up, Kevin? Uh-oh, I must not have paid the Frosty. I mean, my state, I think, is better than Georgia, but that's my own personal opinion. There we go. I mean, I can try and look up some jobs in Atlanta for Arun. Is he wanting to stay in IT? I know here in my state, we actually just had an opening in our IT department for my department. It's not the traditional IT that he's probably used to, though, because my department considers all things communications to be IT. So it's possible he could be working on radios. He could be working on radio towers. He could be doing network administration, server administration. So it's all one big conglomerate. He could also be working in the traffic management center where they watch all the cameras. So they put all that under IT. And we had 4 IT positions opened up not too long ago. But if he wants to work for the state, he can look at the Department of Information Systems for the state of Georgia. The Georgia Department of Emergency Management probably has an IT position that he can look up. I don't know if their DOT is like ours and has an IT department. They might. I mean, they need somebody to work their radios. So they probably do. Yeah, he can look at any of the state departments and see if any of them have a IT department that's recruiting or hiring, whatever you want to call it. He can also go on to USA Jobs. Now, granted, those are typically federal jobs, so in the event of a shutdown, he may get furloughed. So yeah, USA Jobs is a place to go. So you can go to careers.georgia.gov to apply for a state job within the state of Georgia. And there's also georgia.gov. My thing is, you can make a lot of money being a contractor or working private sector. But the problem with that is it's really a dog eat dog kind of environment, and it's easy to get hired, easy to get fired. So I typically try to stay away from private sector jobs and I go with government jobs. The pay isn't as good, but you have job security because with most of your government jobs, once you pass your probation period, it's really hard to be fired, which that kind of sucks in some instances because then you have people that like to coast and just collect that check. But also on the same token, as long as you're doing your job and stuff, you know that you're not going to get fired. You do your job, you do it, well, and do it to the best of your ability. You're not going to get fired, and that's what I like about government jobs. Plus, government jobs have a really good pension plan, whereas if you're going to go to private sector, you need to invest in your own retirement plan. Because let's face it, private sector doesn't care about their employees. Because if they did, then businesses like Walmart wouldn't have food drives for their employees. Yeah, your private sector is going to do what's best for the profit, and let's say you've been with the company for 15 years and they're paying you $120,000 a year. What they can do is they can fire you and then hire someone straight out of college to do your job for, 60,000 a year. So now they're doing half, paying half. They're making that money. And pension is a con. And I would say to anybody who wants to join the military, if you want to, do it. The benefits are great, especially if you make a career out of it. You're going to have to embrace the suck a little. But when you retire, you'll have a pension. You'll have some benefits. Some private companies do care. Yeah, they're few and far between, though. But like my family has medical care for life. For I think it cost me like $100 a month. But again, though, the military isn't for everyone. I would like for everybody to join. Well, I'm going to rephrase that. At one point in time, I thought it was a good idea that everybody at one point in time serve in the military because it helps teach those who didn't get the proper instruction from either their parents or their teachers, whatever, how to be a productive member of society. And in some cases, learn how to do your laundry. But in my 20 years in the military, I learned that the military can't fix stupid either. So I don't know if it'd be worth having everybody do like a minimum of 2 years like they do in some other places. Because I'm not 100% sure if there'd be any benefit to it. Don't get me wrong, it's helped some people. But there's still idiots out there. You have too much of a mouth to join the military? No, you don't. No, you don't. People say stuff like that. But if you really want the military to be, your career or whatever, you'll find a way to curb the negative portions of your personality in order to make it happen. Now, now that probably wasn't because of your mouth. Yeah, but it probably wasn't because of your mouth that they told you it would be best that you not join. It might be something else. Like for Book, it'd be because she couldn't pass the psychological test, and she would murder someone. That's why she shouldn't join the military. Has nothing to do with her mouth, and everything to do with her desire to murder someone. Baby, you don't want to be the interrogator. You want to be the torturer.
It's a form of interrogation.
Oh, it's well, and that's good. So, uh, I did the same thing when I was in. I questioned authority. Now, the problem with that is it ended up with me not getting promoted anymore. But you know what? I garnered a lot more respect from people because I questioned a lot of stuff. Uh, I also defied some orders and I did some stuff I shouldn't have. But I also was one of those that wasn't going to sit idly by and just let things happen that I believed were not correct. So they're trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't even have the book. So there's two reasons why I didn't get promoted past E6. All right, we got a spawn coming in. Pokemon spawn. Get your quick balls ready. Uh, Reason number one is when I was at the Pentagon, I pissed off my E8 who was trying to get E9. Now, I'm not going to say that he was a senior master sergeant trying to get chief master sergeant because on mine, he was neither. It wasn't going to be either. I felt that he was just using the people below him to make his next rank. And I didn't feel it was right. And so I didn't always do what he wanted me to. Because I wasn't going to be his launch pad for his career. So he wrote me some not so nice reviews and or evaluations, performance evaluations. And he also didn't recommend me for a medal for my time there. So, you know, whatever. When you spend, you know, X number of years at one location, it's kind of expected that you get a medal or decoration when you leave, some kind of decoration. And when you don't get something like that, then your next base wonders why you're such a dirtbag. Fortunately, when I got to my next base and I was doing my end processing, I had a really cool senior master sergeant who eventually did make chief. We had to sit down and we had to talk, and I explained to him why I didn't get what I got or didn't get. And he kind of, well, I should say kind of, he understood. So it was going to be a fresh start. But then I got deployed to help with the Afghan refugee mission. And while there, my leadership there wanted me to do stuff that in my mind was shady. They wanted me to develop a schedule for all of our airmen on my shift to work 12 on, 12 off for 3 months. I was like, not happening. So we did it for the first 2 weeks to kind of get into the rhythm of the ops tempo. And when we after those first 2 weeks, I developed a schedule that still gave us coverage for all of our stuff and gave the airmen 1 day off where they could, you know, go and do laundry, relax, decompress, because we were seeing a lot of A lot of shit. I mean, we weren't getting shot at or anything, but you know, you see a lot of humanitarian issues, like people that have been beaten, people that have been taken advantage of, exploited sexually, stuff like that. And you talk to these people a lot, and you hear their stories and everything, and it'll mess with you. So I wanted my troops to have some time to decompress and to get help if they needed it. But my leadership was like, nope, we're not doing that. Like, you're still going to work the 12 on, 12 off. I was like, all right, fine. So I gave them a schedule showing that we were working 12 on, 12 off nonstop. And then I gave my airmen a schedule that said we were not. And we worked my schedule that I had proposed to leadership while leadership thought we were going with the 12 on, 12 off. Well, when they figured out we weren't, I got my butt tore up for it. But then leadership turned around and came up with this quote unquote awesome schedule that they had just developed to help people with their mental health and yada, yada, yada. It was my schedule, the one that I'd given to them like a month prior. But yeah, I went a full month using my schedule for my shift, my crew, before they ever found out. And then when they did find out, they ripped me a new one, took my schedule, and made it sound like they developed it themselves. And I got some not so awesome evaluations from them for disobeying direct orders and yada, 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 which, whatever, that's fine. I wasn't going to beat my airmen into the ground and burn them out just because leadership is dumb. So, I bet you your puppy went and paused my stream. So that's why I never got promoted past E6. Because my last two duty locations, I stood up to leadership who was being reckless and irresponsible with their troops. And I wasn't going to allow it. And so they punished me for it. But I'm okay. Because I know I did the right thing. My airmen appreciated it. I still get texts and stuff from them on occasion. Them updating me on how they're doing. Where they're at in their careers, and they're doing good. So I'm glad I could help them out. Show them how to be a good leader. And hopefully told them or taught them how to get around bad leaders without it reflecting negatively on your own career. I try to be a good person still. And that's one reason why I never went officer. I actually had several of my leadership in the past, before those last two assignments, mentioned that I would make a good officer. And I politely declined because I knew once I became an officer that I wouldn't have the oversight of the airmen that I currently had, because I would be up at the squadron level doing bigger picture stuff. Plus, I don't have a wife that would be a good officer wife. Oh, y'all should have heard her. Oh my god, that was perfect. I said I don't have a wife that would make an officer's wife, and it just all came out her nose. Oh, that was great. Not that she would make a good officer. I said a good officer's wife. Because there's no way in the world she would be an officer. That's weird. Why is my chat welcoming me back to the chat room? She would be the bestest. Still, I don't think you know my wife as well as you think you do. Oh, my wife don't agree. Well, let me rephrase. She probably would make a good officer, but she would not want to put herself through the things that she would need to become the officer. So that's kind of like it's kind of like me at my current job. Um, I probably wouldn't mind being a supervisor of my 4-man team here. I probably would. But I also know that once you become a manager, supervisor, or whatever, you get the some of the other stuff that I really don't want. I don't want to write evaluations. Um, I don't want to deal with what happens when my subordinates decide to do something stupid. Now, granted, in the civilian sector, if one of your subordinates does something stupid and they wind up in jail, well, guess what? They're in jail. In the military, you would have to take your little happy butt down to the jail and bail them out. Well, I mean, you don't have to pay their bill, but you got to go down there and pick them up, sign them out of jail. And depending upon what the offense is, a lot of times the civilian police / prosecuting attorney, stuff like that, they'll just turn the case over to the military to work. Which is one reason why they don't really have a bail. But you still got to get your happy butt up and go down to the police department and pick them up and take them back to their barracks and talk about how much of an idiot they are and make sure that they have their blues ready for when they go and talk to the commander in the morning to tell the commander how much of an idiot they are and why they're an idiot and all that fun jazz. And of course, since you're their supervisor and your troop did something dumb, well, guess what? You also get to be in blues. And you get to try and talk to your commander about why your airman is as dumb as they is and what you as a supervisor are going to do to help fix them. But in the civilian sector, you ain't got to do that. So. In the military, if you're a supervisor, you're really like a parent. If you ever want to be a parent without having to be a parent, if you want to get paid to be a parent, join the military and become an NCO. Then you get paid to be a parent. Pokemon incoming. Get your quick balls ready. Don't get me wrong, though. You won't get paid an exorbitant amount of money. You don't join the military to get rich. But a lot of people join the military for different reasons. Some are to get out of a bad situation. I had airmen tell me that the reason they joined the military was they didn't want to join their local gang. So they joined the military to get out of the... I ain't got none of them. So they joined the military to get away from their hometown because they didn't want to fall into that same trap as some of their friends. Other airmen joined because they wanted to get a college education and they couldn't afford it on their own. So they joined the military to have the military help pay for their college. Other airmen like me wanted to see the world. There ain't no way in the world I was going to be able to afford sending my butt over to Europe, Korea, Timer Ball Reminder, all those places. So I joined the military to go see the world. Probably saw more of it than I wanted to, but it's all good though. We did have a guy when I was in basic training though. He did receive a Dear John letter from his high school sweetheart. And he broke down and cried. Like, dude, ain't the end of the world, man. I was like, you got orders to Germany. You'll find you another girl. She'll probably be German. Don't sweat the one that left you just because you were away. Of course, when I went to basic, I didn't have a girlfriend anymore. In fact, I broke up with my girlfriend in 2 years. I think it was 2 years before I joined the military, maybe 3. Thank you for the hydrate. Been talking a lot. I was a little cotton mouth. Um, but I didn't break up with her because I was joining the military. I broke up with her because she was batshit crazy. I kid you not, batshit crazy. She stole a vehicle to come to my place of work to make sure that I wasn't cheating on her at work. I worked as a mechanic for Sears, and there was nobody there but men. So if I was cheating on her, I was gay. So maybe she thought I was gay. I don't know. Oh, that's dope. The welder's mask. Look at me though, telling all these military stories. Nobody redeeming military stories. It's all good. I don't mind talking about my time in the military. Well, I don't mind talking about some of my time in the military. There's other stuff I do mind talking about, but we're not going to talk about it. We're talking about your life is super boring. You went to Japan for how many years and taught English, the Japanese? Come on, that's freaking cool. All right, so we take like a little half helmet, not like the other helmets we've been putting on. That doesn't have the little bar across the front here. Like a half helmet. I'm gonna put the welding shield on it. Oh, she's a paraplegic welder. I thought this was like her welding cart. No, she's in a wheelchair and has her welder attached to her wheelchair. That's dope. What? They put the welder in her hand. Come on. There we go. Jeez Louise, I did not want to go in there. Dang it. There we go. You're the only one I know of that lived in Japan. So that's pretty dope in my book. Yeah, a paraplegic welder. So you really got to military story time anything? Thank you, Kevin. You really got to spend time with the citizens of Japan. Uh, I didn't. I mainly was restricted to base. So I didn't really get to learn the language that much. And I didn't really get to interact with the Japanese people that much like I wanted to. And I was in Korea for 10 months, but of those, I spent a month in training at Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi. Then I spent a month on R&R. And then I spent a month in Japan, deployed with the Marine Corps. And I spent a month in mobility school. So 4 of the 10 months, I didn't even leave. Well, I wasn't interacting with the citizens of Korea because I was either restricted to base or I was out of the country. So gotta jump in a meeting, be back. All right. Bye. I was only in Japan for like for a month though. And I was only on the island of Okinawa. And I was pretty much restricted to base because we were doing operations with the Marine Corps. So while yes, I was in the country of Japan, I was on a US military installation pretty much the entire time. We got 1 day off the entire month that we were there. That was to transition from day shift to night shift or night shift to day shift. Because half the month you work one shift, the other half you work the other shift. Um, that way everybody had a chance to. Well, that was their reasoning. Everybody had the chance to go out on the town and experience Japanese culture, but we didn't really have time to because we were working 12 on 12 off. And by the time you got back to your barracks, you didn't want to change clothes and go downtown because curfew was at 10 and we got off at 7. By the time you got back to your barracks, got cleaned up, got changed, you're looking at now 8 o'clock. Then you had to go and do something, but then you had to turn around and be back by 10. So you only had 2 hours to spend on the economy. So most of us were just like, I'm just going to go to bed. So the one day that I did get off, my Marine battle buddy took me to Mida Point for snorkeling. That was fun. All right, we got ads coming up here in a little bit. It'll be a 3-minute block of ads. We do 1 block of ads each hour. That minimizes the disruptions to the stream. And it gets rid of pre-rolls, so when people come in, they get to see the fabulous Tuca. If you're subscribed or you have Turbo, you do not get ads. That's not to make you subscribe or get Turbo. That's just the facts of life. During ads, I do not build, so even if you don't have a subscription or Turbo, you won't miss anything because I typically take a break as well. If I don't take a break, then I will sit here and gather the parts needed for the next step or two. But feel free during the block of ads to get up, stretch your legs, get you something to drink, maybe get a snack, use the restroom, whatever. Practice some self-care, and then we'll reconvene on the other side of the break. We got a Pokemon incoming, so get your quick balls ready. We have a Maca. Effective balls are the Sun Ball. I don't think I have a Sun Ball. Nope. Alright, and we are in ad, so I will stop the build and see about gathering up the pieces for the next few steps. That's to finish up that step. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Way. I don't give a fuck what you say. That should be enough steps. We only got about 30 seconds left on ads, so. I'm gonna grab me a snack real quick. I'm gonna have a beef taco meat stick from our good friends at Country Archer Provisions. If anybody knows anybody over there, tell them I wouldn't mind being sponsored by them. They just gotta give me meat sticks. They don't have to pay me any money, just meat sticks. Oh, that's so delicious. Uh, which aviation pioneer launched the ill-fated low-cost SkyTrain air service, challenging the established airlines of the time? Known for its brief but impactful foray into low-cost transatlantic flights, it was launched by the innovative British entrepreneur Freddie Laker. Hmm. But yeah, the ad started right when we were in the middle of step 3 here. We'll go ahead and finish it up. Now I gotta do the inside one first so I can actually twist it. Not great. Oh, went too far. There we go. Hopefully those all look fairly straight. They look straight to me. They might be a little off. Not hard to connect two male Lego pieces together. You gotta connect a female and a male. I can hardly tell. If I saw it. Come on. Get in there. Just get in the hole already. There we go. Come on. There. Like it's a motor jack. Is that what it looks like? Attach that to a motor and lift it up out of the car. Motor hoist. That's what I was thinking of. Motor hoist. Brain went. Yeah. Secret side of me, I never let you say. Keep a cage, but I can't control it. Away from me, the beast is ugly. Feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. Confess that I feel like a monster. Save me from this, make it in. We got Halloween on Friday. Hopefully everybody's got their Halloween costumes ready. Nope, not that one. Maybe it's inside of me. Feel like a monster. Whew. Lost my grip there. Into pieces. This is my last resort. This is my last resort. Didn't care. Would it be wrong? Took my life tonight. Chances are that I might. Where do I begin? Love for another. Spawn incoming. Get your quick balls ready. We got a Persian. Effective balls are basic balls and fast balls. And it would appear I has. Oh. Into pieces. Alright. I guess we'll set this over here somewhere now. Time to open up the next bag. Also, the last bag. I'm mine. If somebody would tell me I'm fine. Oh, look at all the tools. We got wrenches, oil wrenches. We got oil cans, ratchets, tire irons, hammers, impacts, all kinds of tools. Who doesn't heard this one? Hey, Book, what was it you said you saw earlier where Legos, when they were a kid, with like a toy or something, and now they're like therapeutic treatment?
That's what
Therapeutic construction.
therapy.
Oh, therapy with instructions. Okay. Wow. And so, if you weren't able to hear her, she was saying that uh, she read that someone put up there that when they were a kid, Legos were toys. Now, as an adult, they're therapy with instructions. I feel that. Gotta open up our bag of tools. That for some reason we're in a perforated bag. I don't know why they perforate some of the bags. Interesting. Oil can, impact, screwdriver, and hammer. There's screwdriver and hammer in there. Sticker number 7. Hey. this piece here. Our last sticker. Catch it. Goes right there. Our wrench. And our oil filter wrench. The other one was a crescent wrench. And this one's just a regular old wrench. Got a crescent wrench, an oil filter wrench, and a regular old wrench. Alright. Now we take this, stick this together like so. Got a lot of pieces here. We have that there, that there. Itchy, itchy. The things you do to me, but don't miss the misery. That's one of the 3 engines you can put in that car. All right, so this one here goes over here on this side. Now we have our custom car garage. There we go. And we have that piece there. That piece there. And we have our forklift. We have our extra motors. Looks like this motor goes here. I'm assuming that this motor here go right here. There we go. Well, there we go. Then we have our welder here. Have our mechanic guy here. And we got our toolbox. We got a car up on the rack. We got our other car here. Let's see here. We got a Rufflet in chat for those playing Pokemon. Basic ball and mock balls are your effective ones. Basic ball. And while that's going on, let's see who I'm going to raid into. The last few times we've raided into people we didn't know, so let's raid into some. Well, no, I'll tell you about it. We did raid into Set to Build last time, but we haven't. Oh, excuse me. We haven't raided into GH in a while, so let's raid into GH. We. All right. Helps if I click the chat box here. Timer ball. Warning. All right, so there's the two raid messages, one for the subscribers and one for the followers. I want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out. Make sure that you go to my Discord, into the announcements section, and vote for which one of the next big sets we're going to do. There's 5 to choose from. And then we'll start that set next Monday. I want to thank Book Loving Builder because she resubscribed the other day. Set to Build for the follow. Mac Builds Bricks followed a couple days ago, so thank you, Mac. And he was in here for a little bit too, so appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Thank you to Steele for all the chit chat. Kevin, Book, Rosie. Thank y'all all for hanging out with me, and y'all hopefully had a good weekend and have a good rest of y'all's week. And we'll see y'all next Monday with the next big set that we're going to build. Y'all have a good one. Bye. Oh, and don't forget, if you're having issues with mental health, make sure to call 988. If you're a veteran, option 1.